Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of Tools, Tips, and Techniques, our T3 series we bring to you every Tuesday afternoon, where I kind of teach you exactly what it says, a few tips, a few tricks, some new techniques, hopefully something you maybe haven't seen before or maybe haven't tried before. So I'm hoping that you're going to really enjoy today's Shark Week kind of inspired episode. So we all know Shark Week's coming up. It's all about, middle of summer. It's the perfect timing. And even if you're not totally into Shark Week, I think you're really going to love the technique that I share with you today. Let's take a look at the stamp set we're using because it is absolutely perfect. It's called Shark Attack, and of course it has all these really fun, adorable sharks, which don't look super scary. Maybe this guy looks a little bit scary. I'm not too sure, but they are fun. It's got all these great sentiments, including this one that we're going to use on today's card, which says, live every week like it's Shark Week. Hey, why not? So I'm going to go ahead and use this in just a minute, but I'm going to first kind of share with you my background technique. By the way, this stamp set comes with a matching die, which is absolutely awesome because no fussy cutting. We can just cut all of our fun little images with the matching die. And I will also be doing that in a minute. But let's talk about the background technique first. I thought, it's the middle of summer. We need to be doing some really fun, watery kind of techniques. We did share a lot of really awesome techniques when we did our Hello Summer launch party, which, by the way, those of you who did not see that already really need to tune in. It's available just really for anyone who wants to participate in watching that. It's the Hello Summer launch party, and it is on our YouTube channel. So if you go check it out over there, you can scroll through all of our videos and just look for the one that says Hello Summer. And you will have lots of fun checking out all those amazing techniques. It was about a 4-hour show, so yeah, lots and lots of stuff to share. Okay, so what I've got right here to start with is a piece of our splash sheets. This is our watercolor paper, so it's definitely heavier and thicker than our normal whipped cream cardstock, which is kind of hard to tell in the video, but hey, it's perfect for any kind of technique where you're going to use watercolor or water application. And to do that, I have some water, as a matter of fact, in my mister right here. This is our media mister. And I'm going to go ahead and make sure the nozzle's lined up and give my splash sheet a nice spritz of water. These splash sheets are amazing. They really hold a lot of water. So don't be shy about being generous with the water. And then what I just put on here while I was chatting, I put some of our liquid color. This is Catalina Splash liquid color, which is the perfect watercolor, of course. And I just put it on a clear block. And then what I have here is one of our daubers. And it's already kind of loaded up because I did a practice sheet earlier, so it could be drying, because this does take a minute to dry. So what I'm doing is I'm loading up the dauber with the Catalina Splash. I'm just coming to the splash sheet now and just kind of working it on, rubbing it on. And what I'm looking for, what I'm hoping for, is kind of a gradient where I start out much darker at the top and then go into much lighter toward the bottom. I'm going to add a little bit more water. I might even add a little bit more splash. Why not? I think I want the top to be a little bit darker. Again, kind of picking that up, starting at the top. Just kind of working your way in. And then I'm just going a little bit lighter as I go down. So that is pretty much what I'm looking for, exactly. So I want a real heavy dark blue at the top, and then as it gradually fades to basically no color at the very bottom. Isn't that a really pretty kind of ombre look? I love it. Now, because this does have to dry for a few minutes, like I mentioned, I just did one that I had done earlier and let it dry, just kind of naturally air dry. So let me bring that in, and I will also share with you how this liquid color does tend to lighten up just a little bit when you are working with it, so don't be shy about adding color. I might not have had quite as much dark blue, but this was pretty dark before it dried. So when this one turns dry, and I might even show you toward the end of the segment here, how it's going to lighten up as it dries. Especially if you add any kind of heat from like our heat tool, then it's going to lighten up even more. So now I've got this piece that's dried because we're not quite done yet. I thought, well, once we have this splash sheet all saturated with color, what can we do to kind of take it to the next level, kind of, really make it watery, really make it splashy looking? So I experimented with a technique, and I think you're going to love it. I'm going to go ahead and grab my block back. I'm just going to wipe off that last little bit of Catalina Splash that was left. Now what I'm going to bring in now is some of our color splash. This is our brand new color. This one's called Lovely Blue Pearl. So it's a really, really pretty color splash. And at the bottom, if you can see, it's got all this really yummy pearlized metallic-y element at the bottom. So you definitely want to shake up your splash before you use it. Make you dizzy as I shake up here. Shake, shake, shake. You want to make sure all of that gets mixed in really pretty. I think you can probably even kind of see it swirling around in there. It's just so pretty. This is the first splash that we've ever done that has a pearl element. So I'm super excited about that. Now what I'm going to do is take some out with my wand and just kind of dump it onto this clear block here. So I want a decent amount, but I don't have to have too much. I'm going to come in with my blender brush, which I have right here, which is also filled with water. And I'm going to use that to apply this splash to this sheet. Now what's really interesting about liquid color is that liquid color is reactive with water. And because this splash right here is a water-based product, when I add the color splash, the pearl, onto my dry piece of paper that I have right here with my Catalina splash, it's going to react and do some fun things. So I think that's what's really cool about the liquid color. So I'm going to pick up some of my pearl, and then I'm just going to come in and just do some drops of liquid on here. And if we can kind of get up there probably fairly close with the camera, I think you guys will see how it starts reacting. It's super fun. So I dropped some pretty big drops right there. Ooh, yeah, we can see right here at the bottom where it's happening. I'm also going to take my brush, and I might even use the media mister here as a little tapper type effect, and I'm going to do some smaller droplets too. So I'm just tapping them on here, and I want some smaller droplets along with my big splotches, right? So now I've got two different size droplets of the pearl on here. And this might be a little bit hard to see on the video, but I think you can see as it dries, you're really still going to see some of that glimmer of that pearl element. I'll try not to move it so focuses. There we go. Isn't that pretty? Oh my gosh, so much fun. Okay, so now this part will dry fairly quickly because it's, doesn't have a whole lot of product on it. So what I did next is I spun it around, because what I really want is I want my water to look like this is the top of the water in the ocean, right? And then it goes all the way down to the super dark blue. So I'm going to go ahead and grab, this is one of our fun dies that's a little bit different than your normal rectangle. This is called our long rectangles. So it's got these really fun, super long and skinny rectangles. I thought, oh, this might be fun to just kind of grab a fun like slice of our ocean. So I'm going to go ahead and bring my die cutting machine in real quick. I won't die cut all the other pieces I'm doing, but I thought this would be a fun one to show you. Now what's great about this long die is that it's almost the entire length of this cardstock already of the color splash, but it's going to trim off just a little bit. So I'm just going to kind of line it up with the top. And I'm moving it over this way because I didn't care for how the blue went way up on my color splash there. So kind of pick your spot, pick your favorite spot, kind of line it up there, and then run it right through, and you're going to get your really fun little slice of your ocean here. All right, put that guy aside, and check it out. I think it's even a little bit more dramatic, but I'm going to move this grid paper here. I'll use that to soak up my next project. I think it's even more dramatic when you cut it out and slice it. I think it just really gives you that super fun, underwater effect. All right, super cool. I'm happy with that. Now I'm going to bring in some whipped cream cardstock. This little guy of the shark set I had already stamped earlier. So I went ahead and started coloring him in. I think he's so cute. But I'm going to add a second shark, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp him and kind of show you how I colored him in. Ooh, someone commented that it kind of looks like tie-dye. Yeah, it does kind of. That's cool. Okay, I'm going to stamp my little hammerhead out here. I think he is just so adorable. Just makes me laugh. Okay, so I'm gonna start coloring in my hammerhead in the similar way that I did this guy. And what I did is I used our Color Splash pencils because I thought, Color Splash, it's all about the water. Why not use our watercolor pencils to color them in? Plus, they're so easy to use. Kind of wanted to share with you guys how super easy they are. All I did to color all of the elements on my card was I only used 4 different pencils. I used our 2 grays, so 2 different shades of gray. If you want to know the numbers, they're 45 and 46. And then I use 2 shades of orange, 10 and 13, just to color the little inner tube. This guy doesn't have any orange, so I'll set those aside. Now what's fun about the gray pencils that I already used the lighter pencil to color in this shark. So I use the lighter gray. So I'm just going to use the darker gray to color this guy. Just so he's, you know, a little bit different shade. Because I guess different species, right? It's a blue on my brush. Got to get that rinsed off. So when I use the Color Splash pencils, all I'm really doing is just drawing color off the tip of the pencil. I'm just kind of puddling it on my block. I can pull as much or as little as I need. It's just super easy. And the color stays really vibrant. I love it. I also can pull it straight from my pencil straight to my image too. So either way. They really don't take much practice to get to know how to use the pencils and have really good results. Okay, so I'm just coloring in this little guy. Just kind of moving that color around and coloring him in. I can squeeze my blender brush and get a little more water out if I need to. And I love how the watercolor is just kind of imperfect. Because I figure, you know, these sharks might have had a tough life, right? Seems like the sharks I see anyway on the big screen are sometimes battered and worn. This guy looks pretty happy though. He must have just got a belly full. So again, just kind of moving the watercolor around. So super easy and so super quick. Does not take much at all to get him colored in cute. Then I kind of like the shading that I've got going on right now, but I also can pull a little bit extra color if I want, say, a little bit darker line across here. Just like that. And yes, you got to make the little noise. So, super fun. Again, doesn't take a whole lot. It dries pretty quick. This is just regular cardstock, by the way, that I stamped on here. It's not the watercolor paper. So it doesn't soak up as much as it would, you know, if I use the splash sheet, which you certainly could do and you get a little bit different look. So I love these 2 guys. I love that they're, you know, a little bit 2 different shades of the gray. So they've got a little bit of contrast. And now I would just come back in and I would use my matching dies to cut this guy out and cut this little guy out. And then let me bring in my finished card, because after that it's really just all about stamping the sentiment, which I did use that Shark Week sentiment, and popping this guy in a white card base. Just like this, I kind of bring it in. I end up putting this panel pretty much dead center in the card, just adhering it with some pop dots. And check out my finished card. Isn't that fun? So I went ahead and took some of our Journey glaze, which I have right here. So this is our just clear dimensional glaze. And I didn't do this entire shark. I only did the gray parts, and then I did a little bit of his little inner tube. And then this shark, I pretty much did the whole thing because I just wanted that kind of, you know, sharky skin, silky look. I can just picture them floating their way through my little ocean here. And the sentiment, I went ahead and embossed it with white powder on black cardstock because I wanted that really like, wow, poppy pop. So cute. The last little embellishments are just a few of our little fashion silver adhesive dots. So I just put a few of those. I thought they kind of looked like bubbles. So love it. So again, if you're gearing up for Shark Week, if you're having a party, if you're having friends over or whatever you're doing, think about doing some fun things with the shark, whether it's cupcake toppers or making little banners or making just making a card to send a friend to. That would be so totally fun. Keep this Shark Attack stamp set in mind. Just love it. All right, so I hope that you have a great week. We will be back on Friday for another video. We do a Try-Day Friday series of videos too, all of which you can check out on our YouTube channel. Once you're over there, why don't you go ahead and consider subscribing, then you'll never miss a thing. It'll be perfect. In the meantime, I hope that you enjoy, whether it's Shark Week or whatever crafting you're doing this week. I hope that, as always, you enjoy bringing paper to life.